It's time for the Bringing Back Basic Gray collaboration, and I decided this month I was going to use a couple sheets of Basic Gray to make some Mother's Day cards, since Mother's Day is coming up next month. Hey guys, it's Beth. Welcome. It is time again for the Bringing Back Basic Gray collaboration. This is just a small collab that I do with my friend Sarah, who's crafting and relaxing here on YouTube, and Kathy, who is Stampin' Cat over on Instagram. We found we all had a love for the old Basic Gray papers, which are no longer. They don't make paper anymore. And so we had been hoarding it, and we've decided that instead of just hoarding it, keeping it stashed in a drawer somewhere, each month we're going to pull out a little bit of that stash and enjoy it and make something. So this month I pulled out 2 patterns from the Urban Prairie line, Ladybug and Meadow. And I just thought they were pretty. There's like birds on this pattern and florals on this. The colors coordinated. And then I have a sheet of coordinating, like kind of turquoise cardstock. And I'm going to make some Mother's Day cards. And I wanted to kind of go an easier route. So I found a Sheetload sketch. It's the February 2020 Sheetload of Cards sketch from Call Me Crafty Owl. And I am going to use that to kind of be my inspiration to make my cards. So, and since this is a small collaboration, I have a little leeway with time, so I am going to do like a quick process video on making the cards as well. But again, just in case I forget later, please be sure to go check out Sarah and Kathy to see what they made with their Basic Gray. Otherwise, let's get started. So I went ahead and cut all of my pieces. I have the patterned paper, pieces 3 of each of the panels, and then my cardstock panels. And then I did add an extra mat. This is like a card, just the regular card mat. So it is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. I just wanted to add something, a little extra color between that and the white card base. And then the Sheetload called for a thread kind of nest back here, and I don't have anything that would work for that. So I just found some like a wreath die that I had and cut those, and in order to save cardstock, I did cut them out of the mat there. So, and then I have my sentiments ready to go. I'll just need to trim those down a little bit once I go to put those on the card. So now that I have all my pieces cut, we can go ahead and assemble, and then I will be using the scraps from these today as well. Okay, here are my 6 Sheetload cards, and about halfway through I decided, I guess not halfway through, towards the beginning, I decided to pop up the sentiment, the Happy Mother's Day. And on these I was trying to work around the birds. I thought the birds were kind of a good focal point, and so on these I had tried to place my little wreath die and my sentiment kind of around the focal point of the birds there. So these are kind of all in a different place. But so those are the 6 Sheetloads, and then I had some scraps left. And so I'm going to make a couple of scrap cards, and I went ahead and I could do one more of the card mat out of the cardstock sheet that I had. So I went ahead and did one of those mats and then cut the die. And then I have some other, these were longer strips that I just cut down into shorter strips. Found some card mat colors that worked, and then we will put some cards together. Okay, so my cards are done. So I have the 6 Sheetload, and then I managed to make 4 extra cards with the scraps. These were just kind of like a simple card, just wanted to use up those pretty scraps. And then this one is very similar to the Sheetload. I had 2 extra of the smaller pattern paper panels left, and so decided to combine those together and use that extra wreath. So 10 cards, and I will finish them off. I've got some, I don't have any pattern paper scraps left, but I do have some of the matting cardstock left that I can use to add to the insides. And then also on the fronts, I may come in with either some pops of color or Nuvo drops, depending on the colors I have, just to add some extra details. But for the timing of this video, I didn't want to have to wait for those to dry. So those are my 10 cards using some really pretty basic gray paper from like the early 2000s. It has been in my, basic gray has been in my stash for a long time. But again, please be sure to check out Sarah and Kathy to see what papers they used and what they decided to make this month. Thank you guys so very much for your time today, and hope you all have a very crafty day.